Thermal imaging camera. You should be able to see me in there. My beard should be colder than my face. I started realizing I started watching these videos. So I like to... I know, right?
Nearly headless.
Love it. Nearly headless. Wait a minute. Now we got this. Nearly headless Nick, everybody. You guys are just chock full of jokes. I love this. I don't normally have this much laughter at the beginning when we're about to go seek out dead people. Damn, I thought you guys paid me to go to work. Oh, all right, so back to what we're looking for here. So we're looking for those cold spots. So I'm looking for the cold spots, which are going to be blue and black. I normally make the joke that I'm the red, orange, and yellow guy in here. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame, but I think the guys outnumber me tonight. So we'll keep that joke to myself. It still worked. But those cold spots are going to be blue and black. I want them to take shape or to move on their own. Taking shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully that's what we're going to capture with this guy again. So the cold spots on this can be windshields, glass, anything, aluminum cans on the ground. Again, there's a lot of debunking that goes along with this. I want everybody to keep in mind, like, I'm not a TV show host. We capture anywhere between 4 to 6 pieces of paranormal evidence that I will put my stamp of approval on from this guy per year, not per episode. Okay, I want you guys to put that all in the back of your brains. So if we're not recording, we're not going to capture it, right? That's kind of how this goes. So with this one, Bill, you're nice and quiet over there, so we're going to give you this guy. Well, we could just take, has anybody seen the actual movie Maniac? Like, it was like 1978, like
going on
vacation kind of thing. Like, it was crazy. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, not a fan of Maniac. Let me just get that off my chest right now. So we are at the Big Red Barn. This is the quick stop. As you guys have to imagine, I normally see between 8 to 12 of you guys every night, and I have to explain your equipment. Did you hear Dan Marino? Like, seriously? Who the hell's talking about Dan Marino? I don't even like football, and I know that who the hell's Dan Marino.
Tamburino?
Oh, I thought you said Dan Marino.
Oh, no. Tamburino.
Oh, Tamburino.
Oh, okay, now you lost me. All right, so the Big Red Barn. This is where we keep some of the horses for your terror drives. The history here is a one-liner, but it explains all of your gear. So it's the same Red Barn that had horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. That's it. Keywords here: delivery, milk, eggs, anything relative to a stable. So you guys are getting the point on this, right? Communication devices. What would be the first question somebody would ask a Ouija board if they were sitting in front of one?
Are you?
That would work, but I'm looking for something simpler than that. Exactly. Is anybody here? Well, that's usually the first question everybody wants, because there is a yes, no on the Ouija board, right? So let's say we all stood around and I asked that question, and Nathan heard the answer no. That means somebody's here. Guys, they answered. Is anybody here? And he hears no. We have a direct answer. Somebody's here. You guys got the point? We're not using yes, no questions all night long. We're going after the details. If somebody's here, tell me what color a Big Red Barn is. Now we know we are looking and listening for the color red. However, 3 of you are using song lyrics and DJs to be able to convey messages back to the rest of us. The word red might not be available to that song lyric or DJ. Fire truck, blood, heart. Those 3 things are specifically red. I may take that as something being paranormal if something else was going on. Let me explain. Where's my word list? CJ has it. So let's say CJ has the word art on his word list. That doesn't mean anything over here by itself. Ellen, here's the number 40 coming out of hers. That doesn't mean anything separately. You put them together, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. You guys see where I'm going with this? Lots of puzzle piece collecting. And again, I know what 90% of these puzzles look like. I get excited when you guys tell me shit that you've heard that I have no idea what the hell it means. I write it down, and that means I get the research. I'm a writer, which, by the way, that's how I remember all of your names, because you're all characters to me right now, believe it or not. That's how I do this every single night. And then when I get back to the office, I try to forget faces until I have to see you again. And what was funny is I do watch a small portion of like your videos from your original tour, because again, your phone number is saved with your date of your tour. So I'm going to go back to that set of data, and you guys use the thermal imaging camera that night. I had a couple of faces, but I heard voices. Now I kind of had a trigger. But anyway, sorry.
Private medical condition.
Hit those start buttons. Keep them running for the entire duration that we're in this space, because if you hit the record button by the time you think you saw something, that something is already gone. So again, we want to try to get as much footage from each location as we can, so by all means hit that record button and let's get these puppies started. By the way, Spirit Boxes, Nathan, have you been listening at all? I know you kind of...
One ear here and there when you're talking about it.
Got it. So have you heard anything else besides the ooh?
Yeah, I've been hearing different things.
Anything stand out to you?
Just a second ago, I heard another one.
Okay.
And,
It'll come to you.
yeah.
Okay. All right, you'll be able to unmute once we actually get through the history here, and we'll start to spread out. Which, by the way, everybody, congrats, you made it to a parking lot. So, again, I told you I'd take you to weird spots. This place used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space where that car is parked with its lights on, and facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across. We are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. In the event that somebody hears the name Charles, I need somebody else to give me a secondary clue so I know how to address that specific Charles. Does that make sense now? I hope it does. So I'm going to keep going. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on and talk about Eliza instead. If I do not give those gentlemen that recognition of signing the Constitution, they will do it for me in a very negative manner through a spirit box, and I try not to piss them off. I hope you guys see my point. Now, the other reason, by the way, that I'm also remember most of your names is every night I come through this location before I meet with you guys to let her know who's coming if I know what the names are. It's just out of respect. I actually gave this space a little bit of a break because I was getting very disrespectful ghost hunters like, come on, Eliza, let's go, talk to us. And then they go take a leak in the corner. So it was like, again, very nasty messages were coming through, so I kind of gave it a break. So again, I do repeat off your names to Miss Eliza before I meet with you. Back to Eliza. She marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14, when young ladies got married. Which, by the way, communication devices, this is where I start withholding information on purpose so you have a genuine experience. I will not give you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the big red barn over there. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. Moving on. By the way, the husband, the reason why I said all of that about her young age at this time period is because the husband was over double her age. So it was creepy then, it's creepy now. So I'm just going to point that out too. So moving on. She married him because her father is over in England. He thinks he's dying, and he's trying to bring all of his children home one last time so he can see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You do not get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, believe it or not. There's nothing horrific about this location, hence why it is a place of respect. Moving forward, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. That's, some of you are wearing it right now, by the way. That's how we use it today. When she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated because obviously it's not warm here all the time. She learned how to make the dye, then moved it to a cash crop and got a hold of Dad and told him rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. She was correct because now we have an international businesswoman during colonial days. Something absolutely unheard of. That is the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit because that's why you guys are all here. So, I'm going to basically go through and give all of the communication devices a set of focus questions. You can either say these things out loud or you could just focus on them. There's no right or wrong way to do this. She already knows what we're about to ask. Also keep in mind that we do have 3 cameras running, my voice recorder, and 5 communication devices. So if you're asking a question, she might get the answer. We never know where it's going to fall. So they can attest, I always have a minimum of 2 communication devices, even if it's just 2 people on the group. Again, we like to know where it's going to go. So 2 red spirit boxes. So Helen and Nathan, the 2 of you are going to have the same set of questions because of the type of spirit box you're using. You're going to focus on Eliza's death. So 4 major things we get answers to: her age at death, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. Obviously not yes/no questions. If you go rogue, just be respectful. Make sure it's not a yes/no question. With yours, oh my, Rhonda. Aha, I almost lost it for a second. So your particular spirit box only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time. The mansion's not here anymore unless you can see it and I can't. You're going to ask what happened to it, and if you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue that it was indeed a tragedy. Moving on. So, Sandy and CJ, oh, that actually works out perfect. So the 2 of you, I guess I didn't realize I did that. Your devices are going to be working together as well. So, I don't know if you remember or not, Sandy, but STACEY, oh my God. The one person I screwed up is somebody I already knew. STACEY. So, with yours, Eliza's initials, ELP. You're going to be looking for that in a very specific order of ELP, because L stands for a maiden name, because the first wife, also named Eliza, had a maiden name that started with the letter L. Hopefully, that's what you're going to do. You also are like kind of catch-all with everybody else in that thing. Some of the answers often you can use. So again, I just wanted you to have something specific that you guys can work on together. But I am going to keep Stacey behind the scenes for just a few minutes. I can show her some of the errors of like how to work that guy. Do you have any other numbers on yours, Mark?
It's all over the place. 80.1, 65.7, jumping everywhere.
Wow. That's high.
I was getting 35 to 12, 3, just went to.
What was the highest number you saw? 80?
It was 85 points.
I don't know. Impressive.
1, 2,
Okay.
25, 16.1, 14.3, 8, 19, 59.1.
So at this point, give me anything above a 50.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, it seems like it's super high tonight. It was last night, too. I don't know why. So,
When we got here, it started jumping everywhere.
yeah, I mean, and there's no electricity in here. So
Right,
you
I
should
know.
not be getting those kind of readings at all. Joke it. Red is recording.
So we can walk around.
You'll feel the button, but the right next to it is the wheel.
Supper.
Yeah, that happens often. All right.
Supper.
Supper. So I'll be writing that one down.
Let's have a good time.
Is that what you just heard? All right, so everybody, let's spread out. Stay away from the vehicles. Don't go in between them. Don't go in front or back of them. And I'm going to do a couple of round robins, and then I'll regroup us to give you guys all the answers to see what we actually got. So, Stacey, how Sandy? Let's see what we got. All right.
Now we're around.
I think this is cool. So this was where her house was. Okay, so what was the tragedy? I bet it was really pretty.
Say we love you, Nick.
You're funny. He'll hear it.
You're the greatest, Nick.
I wonder where her house was.
Right here, they said.
And then the garden. Maybe. Oh, we might be
Here, watch out. They're gonna back up. They said it was a mansion. I don't know.
And my ADD is like, I'm all over the place. I'm watching everybody else, and everything else is catching my attention, and I'm trying to pay attention to all the details, and I am missing them. I should have took a double dose of ADD medicine today. Okay, so what did he say? He said try to ask questions. Ask a question.
What's the day?
We hear a little bit of stuff. tell what it is.
There was music.
Who does she like to sing?
Maybe.
Maybe she's like me. She hums to herself all the time. That's why we're. What was the tragedy? Happy New Year.
Feliz fin de semana.
She's talking to you.
Hi. How are you? I'm good, thank you.
I think it's that rooftop bar.
Where you could see the skyline.
Yes. We need to go do that. Look how pretty that is.
That's the thing. So is the food good?
Is the food good at the rooftop?
I got 919 too.
Yeah, we had like it looked like a cool guy sitting up here just like
It's always gonna wiggle. Yeah, it's always gonna be funny.
we can tell it's a sign picks it up as like heads all the time.
I also have the sensitivity turned down to about 35%. So imagine if that thing was cranked all the way up. You could literally have purple men everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of funny. What do you got going on?
919, clear as day.
9, what do you got? Anything? You heard anything? Nothing at all? Dude, I thought you were gonna be like super terrible.
Get a gag order. Let's have some fun.
That was you asking about how she felt about her older husband. She has more notes spelled out. So that's a keep it respectful. She's going to prom in English. Remember,
What did that say? Good one.
Isn't 919 an area code in your guys' area?
919 would be in Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville.
Okay.
Area.
So that's probably why you heard the 919. Where did you go? Oh, she's off one.
Yeah.
Love it. Anything crazy on your cam, Bill?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Have we heard anything on the spirit box?
Good one.
What's that?
Good one.
Good one. Good one. Nosy?
Crazy.
Crazy.
See?
Good one. Crazy. Anything else above 50? Or I'm sorry, over 100?
No.
Okay.
It's all low now.
How's that camera working out? I know it's an emergency.
Yeah,
There was something. I can't tell what it was.
last time it's good box.
How that was actually going to work out. So, let's do one more quick round robin. I'm going to let Helen listen in. So,
Or too dumb to understand.
Sounded like four of these.
it's like the region word, but
Oh, really?
What was that?
Here in this parking lot?
usually
That's where I seem to get most of my
Oh,
information.
really?
Right there. That's interesting.
There was a story.
What that one just said. You see anything cold?
All right, Rhonda, you got anything else crazy going on over there?
No, I mean, I can't tell like what some of it is.
Okay. And have you two heard anything on your spirit box yet? Nothing else extra? All right, I say it's time to like wrap this one up a little bit, only because of some of the terms that we have. I'll explain. So let's move right back to where we started. All right, so
That press it mute it. It'll
yeah, let's go ahead and get you back on mute. Cameras, if you want to give your hands a break, by all means hit those stop buttons if you haven't done so already. Hear anything
weird
weird?
at the girls.
Okay.
yeah, they were.
I mean, that's what I told him. The guys don't like them either.
Anything
And then I
else?
thought I heard something else, but I can't remember now what it said.
Okay, it'll come to you.
Something about grandma.
Grandma?
Oh, hurt. That's what I heard. Hurt.
Okay. Kind of makes sense here. It's still vague, but it still works here. Ella?
80s?
Yes. That makes sense. We're going to let this group pass through, guys. Mark, where are you at? I can't see in the dark. Perfect. So, Mark, you're going to be looking for an 8 or above in here that you're doing baseline. Just because the lampposts, we'll give off up to a 7. So you guys get the point on that one. So cameras, obviously you want to try to get a long view, just the same way that Ryan is doing it. So he's got a nice long view, nice empty alley. So if you can get a long view, if the other groups like will come through us, because again, this is a very popular area for Charleston. We'll just split the seats like what we just did. Just lower your cameras. You guys got the point. Don't make them feel uncomfortable. What words did we get while we were chatting, by the way?
We got manipulate, apology, and alien.
All right, which one of you's an alien?
Aliens are taken in a lot of ways.
There's the lizard.
Where's the lizard man, right?
I just got bad omens.
Wow. Aliens. Aliens. We're gonna get this young lady passed through. Alright, so. Alright, so welcome to Philadelphia Alley. By the way, I'm sorry, did you get any words out there? Okay. This is Philadelphia Alley, but it used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some because dueling was illegal. So they had to find hiding spots. What's funny is one of the phrases we heard last night on the way here was same hiding spot. So they didn't know. They heard it along the way. That's why I have you guys listen along the way. But anyway, every ghost tour comes down here. It's kind of a staple for everybody. I'm going to give you the same story that they give, but I'm going to give you more details because you guys aren't on the cheesy campfire and marshmallow kind of ghost tour, right? You're ghost hunting. You need those extra details. So let's kind of get into this. And by the way, there's a lot that goes into this. Again, we're going to stir things up and we're going to leave, and this guy's going to follow us for probably the rest of the night. He's going to go over to the next location because that's where we get most of his communication. But he also shows up at our last stop, and the reason why is because he used to live nearby that location. Again, raised emotion. You have to look at the clues of when things pop up. So if you guys are starting to give me clues of him at that last stop, I'll definitely let you know if I feel like he's there. All right, so here's how it goes. The gentleman moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If the two of you with the red spirit boxes are going to listen in along the way here, or while we're in here, and you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it here all the time.
Okay.
You're going to be looking for the initials of R.I., Rhode Island. So just kind of keep that in mind. It'll make more sense once I get into it. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just inherited, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes down here to prove that he's not just after her money. So, yeah, we're going to have groups coming in at all angles tonight, just so you guys know. So on his way into town, the coachman that he had set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here in Charleston, but somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen because he knew the coachman, that somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. R.I. Get the point? Ralph has the same initials as to where the doctor actually came from. That's exactly why I have the device that Stacy is using tonight. I bought it because I was getting the letters RI on other spirit boxes. We're going to let both of these parties pass through, and they're actually not going to.
Anything about a Watson?
What was it? Watson? No. Not to my knowledge, but we are near a cemetery, so who knows what's creeping over. That's the problem with this location. So anyway, back to Dr. Ladd and Ralph. Now, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. I got friends there. They'll rent you a room. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on the offer, and now the two gentlemen are friends. So the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money because he's making his own. Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down soon, so they could be married. So Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor.
Oh.
Heavy cigar smell.
Definitely had a cigar in it. So, the Whistling Doctor. This is part of the reason why I hate this story and why I was actually going to take it out of my route this year. So, whistling ghosts are a cliche. Every haunted city you guys are ever going to visit, we all have haunted, or like whistling ghosts. So, again, ours just happens to be a doctor. Moving on. Let's talk about the duel and how that actually started. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III, they are arguing over the new actress they just saw that was here in town. Doc thought she was great, but Ralph didn't think so. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. So it got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Now, I already told you that Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. Let's settle this. Somebody's going to die. So they came down. Let these young ladies pass through real quick. Hello.
Hello, sorry.
So they came down, back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned. The doctor points his gun in the air and shoots his one bullet. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. Now, Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, but he fell to the ground, and Ralph proved his point that he's still pissed off. Doc's friends pick him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786 after refusing medical treatment. I'm going to point out 3 things. I normally point out 2 things. First off, we heard the phrase 80s coming out of Helen's spirit box. He died in 1786, so technically it's correct. It is also 1786, and gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what we know of them now. Why did he refuse medical treatment? He's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, because obviously he died. And every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests, listen for the whistles and see what you can capture. We have 3 cameras running right now, plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it's going to show up on one of those 4 devices. However, the 2 other spirit boxes with the headphones, we've gotten whistling parts of songs and then the word doctor immediately after, dozens and dozens of times. So I can't say that is not a thing. I don't look for it. It happens all the time. So just kind of keep that in perspective. If you're going to try this on your own and you're going to walk all the way through here without me, obviously once we're not together, and you are going to listen for the whistles from a voice recording on your phone, just remember every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley every time we pass. So I do that since I've been thrown out of here. Let's talk about that, because that's the fun part of the story. No. It also explains why we're going to the next location that we are going to. So this alley did not always go all the way through the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. This was before Dueler's Alley. It was called Cow Alley. We We often get the word cow on CJ's word list, just so you guys know, it happens all the time. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Because at the end of this alley, those bricks are older than the ones we are standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through. History lesson, nothing paranormal about it. Remember how I feel about cemeteries? That's the last place you're gonna find that kid that made that handprint inside that brick down there. So, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there for their history lesson, and I normally just kind of point it out and we move on. They stop, and they're waiting for something to happen with all the gear that I handed out. I'm trying to shoo them along. Guys, we gotta keep going. We're standing right outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was trying to be respectful. I didn't realize we were out of bounds for tours at that time of night. I was still new at this. So, the new owner of that mansion came out and he was furious, and my daughter thought it was hysterical because her father's getting yelled at. She was on the tour that night. So, yeah, you're looking at me horrified. She thought it was hysterical. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work in upper management for Walmart for over 10 years. You guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving and have scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving in my life. So, the next day I called my partner. It's the 28th of November. It's the guy that brought me into tourism away from retail, and I told him what happened, like looking for advice, and he's laughing just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway. You got to reroute your group. Well, guess what? I'm sold out again. It's Black Friday. I told my group we got to reroute, and I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. That's obviously we're talking about pirates next, in case you haven't picked up on that. And I've never had anything happen with my gear over there. I've been there dozens of times. We'll see what happens. So before we left, somebody with a spirit box, here's the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. I take them up around the corner, I told them the little bit I did know about piracy, and somebody else heard the number 300. I don't know what that one means. I wrote it down just so I can research it. Turns out we were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary.
Wow.
Now, this is the reaction I normally get. I was pissed off. Let me explain. I already told you, first off, I was not in the pirates at the time. I am very much so now, because I have done more research on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life. I have a master's degree in creative writing. When I'm doing anything as far as writing or researching, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of Blackbeard. So, that's a problem. That means I have to read more books to verify what you guys are finding. I've read more books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my life. I'm rewatching Black Sails. If you're not familiar with that fantastic show,
that was a good show.
It's a fantastic show. So, my wife is now watching it too. But anyway, so I've done more research on this than you guys can possibly imagine. It is a fun story, but it is a roll of the dice if Anne Bonny will actually be at the next location. I'll explain once we get there, but we will get things from Dr. Ladd over there as well. So that's kind of the hope and figure. Now, when we get across, we're going to cut through that group. So you will kind of, like, you can be unmuted until we reach the group, mute, and then unmute again as we're walking to the next location, just so we're not interrupting that particular tour. Everybody else is definitely going to listen in. Any numbers I need to know about, Mark?
No, nothing.
To people that don't do this on a regular basis. But there's a lot. Yeah. There'll be a lot of rabbit holes. So interesting piece is that police officer is parked exactly where I normally take you guys. So I don't know what he's doing over there with his lights on, but in the event that he moves, we will be moving to the back of the lot because I know that very shortly a very loud tour guide is going to stand right behind me. Yeah. And this is a very popular corner for other ghost tours, so kind of keep that in mind. But what have we heard or seen along the way before I tell you why we're here?
Little.
Little?
Mine says it doesn't matter how.
Doesn't matter how. Ellen, you got anything? And no crazy words that I need to know?
Just May.
May?
M-A-Y, May.
What was it?
Do you want me to mute it?
Oh yeah, we're going to keep you on mute for the next 5-6 minutes as I kind of go through this history, and then hopefully the cop moves and we'll be able to spread out a little bit. We're going to be here because of that little tiny building over there with the crosses on it. Those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with what those are because you're not from here, they're basically turnbuckles. They go all the way through the building and look just like that on the other side. If we have another earthquake, which like we did in 1886, like I told you guys about earlier, which we haven't, by the way, you can turn those turnbuckles and it tightens the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work.
Okay.
I normally get that, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, it should don't work. You guys have been seeing them all over town in the form of Charleston Charm kind of stuff, lion heads and pineapples. Even the apartment building, the brick building behind it, has them on every single floor on all 4 sides. It's kind of a crazy concept if you really think about what's underneath those floorboards of them crisscrossing underneath each other, and we have an earthquake and they squeeze the whole building together. It's just going to crumble. It's just kind of dumb. But anyway, we're here because of those crosses, those earthquake bolts, those big ones on the Powder magazine, because that's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. They were actually put there because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. So that building was finished in 1713. That's part of the reason why we're here. This is what I call a familiar. That building was being constructed at the same time Anne Bonny was coming to this area to start her new life. She would recognize this building. So if you don't watch the TV shows anymore, they're using a new device called a Boo Buddy. That Boo Buddy looks like a teddy bear, and it has the little blinky light K2 EMF meter in it that I showed you guys earlier. In case a child comes close to it, it'll blink and say, ooh, that tickles. It's kind of a creepy thought all on its own if you really think about it. But they use that as a toy to attract the child ghost. Think of that concept with this building. We don't have many buildings this old. So we have some, but not many. So in the event that she's here, it's the 50-50 roll of the dice, but we will be getting things from Dr. Ladd, which is literally right over the side of that courtyard. We just made a big U around it. So let's kind of get into this. And not all the ghost tours around town will even tell you the story, so I really went into great lengths. Yeah, by the way, if you do have a camera and you hit that record button, just make sure we're not pointing at the cop, obviously. like what the hell's going on with this guy? Perfect, he's moving. So once he rolls down the road, we will probably move to the back so I don't have to shout at you, because I'm telling you that tour guide that's going to stop behind me is super loud. Wow. There's a reason why I don't call myself a tour guide in your guys' text messages, by the way. It says lead investigator. Again, I hate to consider this a tour. But anyway, 1708 is where our story is actually going to begin. Just rest right there at the edge. But anyway, so 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? Okay, the 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How mad was the wife that she kicked them out of the damn country, by the way? There's no airplanes, guys. It's by boat. So they landed in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation up there. That's between us and Myrtle Beach, in case you're not familiar. And Mom died pretty quickly after they landed. That means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to sell things from the plantation to help keep things afloat. So he's gone. Yeah, he left. Thank you. Let's roll back to the back. Love it. Thank you. Appreciate the extra eyes again. Everybody duck and cover.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Anybody else call like who's an asshole? We're trying to figure out where the fuzzy ass came from. All right, so where was it?
29 mean anything?
What's that?
29? There's back there.
Possibly. Remind me to write that one down. I'm not real positive or sure of it. So I think we have to take a step backwards to Ireland for just a second, just to kind of give you Anne Bonny's mentality. They say when Anne was a child, 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is exact, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Again, just like to give you her mentality as we kind of move forward. So fast forward, the building is done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. She's going to fall in love with one of these dudes so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. So it's a man's world. First guy she falls in love with. I say first because there's a lot. We're going to talk about all of them. That's kind of what makes the damn story. The first guy is James Bonny. You already know where this one's going, right? So Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica and got married. Anne Cormack is now Anne Bonny. That's where the name came from. When they get down there, she realizes her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. That makes him a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. I'll keep tally. Guy number 2 is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. For those of you that have watched Black Sails, that is the guy with the really thin, skinny mustache. He owns the brothel. that makes sense. Yeah, you guys got that point now. I said brothel, and all the guys were like, yep, remember that one. But anyway, so Calico Jack has his own ship, and he has his own crew. So Anne wants to be part of that crew. You can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know the real reason why?
I just heard it was unlucky.
It's bad luck.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for keeping it family friendly. I get some really raunchy answers to that one. By the way, Calico Jack is the real person that they based your Johnny Depp character off of. So just kind of keep that in the back of your brain.
Cool.
Now, and it's bad luck, so he makes a deal with Anne. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. So she agrees. But we're all adults here. Put two and two together. She is a female in his quarters. She is eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant dude on the crew. Like, somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. And then they'll get rid of Jack as captain. They'll vote him off. So before she starts to show her pregnancy, he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby here with these friends of mine. They'll help you out and come back later. We'll figure it out then. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. None of my research has ever found it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. To make him even more angry, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. Did everybody get all that? Because that one's a long one. So now we have 2 females dressed like male pirates. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Now, Anne and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure because of obviously the time frame. But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of Navy ships to come take down one measly little pirate ship. Rumor is Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks. They don't know how to use cannon jets. They haven't been pirates for very long. Now, 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns obviously can't take on a whole fleet of Navy ships with cannons. They're going to get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain in beau, Jack, and says, "Sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up a lot for us here in our communication devices. Now, the judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. So he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. They scream out to the judge, "We plead our bellies," which means they're claiming to be pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He brings Anne home after he bails her out, and she remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary because we're not really sure. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know anything truthful about her after her pirate career. It's all for speculative fiction.
So we know little about her.
Exactly. Oh, we do. You got the word little. Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books tell you it was fever. I say let's make it romantic. Call it scurvy. Why the hell not? So I'm not going to control this environment like what I did at the Pinckney Mansion site. We're not talking about a very prominent English woman kind of mentality. We're talking about a kick-ass female pirate. I say normally if you smoke tobacco and you brought a bottle of rum, have a good time. You'll probably attract her over to you. Of course, all the crazy that it is going to try to scare you once in a while. It said help me. Yeah. Yeah, you guys see me roll my eyes like real fast on that one. So here's the things I left out of the story just so you guys have a few things to work off of. You can ask whatever the hell you want to here, but I did leave out the names of the parents. That's the father and the mistress. I will tell you that both names of the parents showed up on Stacy's device last night. So can't make this stuff up. It happens. Yeah. So we did get both names there. What else did I forget? Oh, the name of the city that Anne grew up in, Ireland. So again, a very specific city that she grew up in. The name of the Calico Jack ship that she joined, and the color of Anne Bonny's hair. Everything else is fair game. Ask whatever the hell you want to. So that's kind of how the mentality of this. So Lisa, with yours, this wall behind me is not your friend because it's covered in leaves. It's going to look like a whole bunch of army men just lined up ready to shoot. So kind of keep that in mind.
There's a ton of them.
I am actually happy if we get a 2.5 in here.
Yeah, I can bet nothing. 0.
So we actually got a little bit of, I think we had like a 3.2 or something here last night, so I was actually pretty excited about that. We are going to get you unmuted. Let's just stay away from the people. Remember the building is what type of you familiar with the hand. But the closer you get up that way, you got parking meters and fuel holes that are going to influence. You got it. Oh, we're switching it up. I love it. All right, so let's get this back running already, and let's get to work.
With a parent's name, so we can ask. Houston?
That sounded kind of like that.
It did, it sounded like.
What is steel? I want to look up what that thing really is.
Don't ruin my ghost.
I'm not. I just want to see what it is. Because it looks familiar.
Let's see, what can we ask? What color does Anne's hair? I don't know what it said. I can't pick it up. I'm too dumb to do this. You have to be smart. Children.
Hey, there. Name of the pirate ship. We're supposed to stay close so you can record what's being said, because this one doesn't record it.
I'm sorry, I thought you was behind me.
And I'm missing words. Because I'm not good at this. I want to find a ghost. Okay.
Good morning.
You heard good morning.
No. How are you?
You can't hear anything on yours, you goober.
I know, right?
You can just see. Have you seen anything?
Yes.
Give it. Let's see. Babies. Names of babies. Names of babies. What else? What did it say?
It didn't. Good morning. did you? See, I think he just feels a little bit of that. Eat it.
What'd you hear?
Reminds me of Bumblebee.
It does, doesn't it? Love that. Because that's how Bumblebee talk to people. Okay, so we said what was the baby's name? What happened to the baby?
All right, you two. How's it going? Sorry.
Okay.
What did we hear? You
Hey.
heard something. Yeah, we heard hey.
Okay.
That was it.
And then just a lot of that I can't make out.
Okay. Yeah. Might just have a little bit of bad reception over here, which is okay. And again, if you're not hearing it, you weren't meant to hear something. That's kind of how I look at this. There's no such thing as coincidence with me. So I have to look at the lack of evidence as well. So anything weird on your cam, by the way?
Not yet.
Nothing crazy?
I'm worried that I'm just not fast enough
No.
to pick it up to
And that's
understand.
why he's recording the audio. So if you miss something, it's going to be on there. You're going to be part of the next location's experiment, by the way, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I choose one person from every group. So you
Oh,
see
good.
how
I
this goes.
like to participate.
Oh yeah, this is going to be right up your alley.
Okay.
So again, it's not going to be what we've been doing. Like I spread everybody out and tell the history. Like it's going to be a lot different. So I'll explain before we leave the space. So yeah, keep listening. You might want to choose another corner because we're going to be here like another 2 to 4 minutes before I wrap this one up. There's not a whole lot going on and everybody's screaming out at me yet. So I do want to follow up with them. But yeah, be prepared to be blown away at the next one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so try to ask some more questions. Pirates. Tell us about the pirates. What was the name of the baby? What color was your hair? What color was Anne's hair?
Red.
Did it just say red? Oh, I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I bet it wasn't really red. I don't know. This is fun. I just like it. How many kids did you have? I thought I heard. Did he tell us how many kids they had?
Mm-hmm.
How many? Smoking. Did you hear that? I thought I heard smoking. I thought I heard I can't sleep. Maybe I didn't.
Walk back up this way.
Stay close.
You heard a little as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Red.
Some of that flight stuff.
Yeah.
We are near a gunpowder magazine. It serves 7 bullets.
Go there. So it seems.
Did you get anything? Is that what you're asking about?
I'm telling you,
Okay.
red.
Oh, I got heart when I was over there.
Got heart.
Heart.
It sounds like over.
It's actually pretty good tonight. Sometimes that thing sucks. Like it's horrible. On the face of that, you have a little button. See what those two have, and then we'll probably call it a wrap on this one. See if he's got anything else up there. Nathan and Lisa, did you guys get anything? Nothing crazy? Okay.
I don't know what that one was. Work.
I say you call this one a wrap.
Work.
Kind of show you what we're going to be doing next.
I'm gonna do this.
All right. Wow, that's really unnecessary. And that's the wrong music coming out of that car.
I know, exactly. Totally wrong music.
Would you say it's the wrong car?
All right, so we're going to circle around nice and tight, just so you guys know I don't like the other tours if they're walking in and say, what the hell is Nick up to now? So we're just going to kind of hide what's going on here. So the two of you obviously are going to be blindfolded. You're not going to be able to hear me. You're going to be telling me everything you're hearing in real time. Your family members, in the event you're talking too loud, because we do have neighbors and I try not to anger anybody, they're going to tap you on the shoulder, quiet down a little bit. If we can't hear you, they may lift up your earmuff and just say the word louder. Speak up a little bit. When we're done, because I'm only going to keep you guys under for 10 minutes, they're going to tap you on the leg, take off your own gear. I will never touch you. You will be able to hear me. So again, that's why I'm not giving you these specific directions. So did you guys figure out your blindfolds?
Oh, yeah.
Are they Batman masks or are they full around your head?
Oh, we're going to go rob banks.
They should rip in the center, so that way it's a Batman mask. Okay, or you can do it that way, whatever makes you comfortable. Alright, so with your images, have you ever done virtual reality before?
No. Well, I mean a little bit. They've got a game.
Okay, exactly. So and this is not going to be Jurassic Park coming down to eat you kind of stuff. Okay, so you're going to see a galaxy off in the distance, and then every once in a while a picture will show up in front of the galaxy. It's going to be like moving stars. I put that in there so you don't fall asleep.
Okay.
So whatever the picture is, just keep it nice and brief. So if it's 3 people on a bench with a tree, 3 people bench tree. If they're not saying much, I may ask you probing questions. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Like what are the people wearing? What's the time period of that kind of thing. So that way and everybody will be able to see all of these images once we're done with the experiment. When we're done, obviously you guys get to tap on the leg. I'll say peel that thing off your face. Nobody get up. I don't like baby giraffes to fall on the ground if you've been in the dark for 10 minutes. Let's see. So as soon as you guys are ready, I will start the timer. So go ahead and blindfolds down, spirit boxes up, and try not to mess with your volume. I'll test constantly to make sure you're not cheating. I've had people try to cheat, believe it or not. And I will get you your thing once I get it set up for you, since you haven't done this before. Okay. Helen, can you hear me? Nathan, you need to have both got yours covered. There you go. I know, it sucks. What color is a blue banana? Perfect. Henry Timrod. I've got some folks here that want to talk to you, so if you could please push forward and give us something about your occupation, please, to let us know that you're here. All you're gonna do is look straight ahead, and it'll line up with you. You won't need to move around or anything.
Okay.
And then your focus, in case it's blurry in there, is right here. So just turn that in case it's blurry. It'll move.
Other guy.
Okay, perfect. What other guy is here? Did you bring Dr. Live with you too? Henry? Henry, this is Helen, Nathan, and Rhonda. Rhonda can see whatever you want us to see. These other 2 folks can hear whatever you want us to hear.
There's an old face.
Okay?
It's just kind of squinting.
What time period? Can you guess?
Can't really tell because it's basically just a head.
Okay.
The face almost looks mad.
He's not always happy I'm here, just so you know. He doesn't like me poking around like this all the time. Henry, did you bring somebody else here with you?
It literally just about smiled.
It's always going to look like it's moving a little bit. We'll see what it actually ended up with. Lisa, can you do me a favor and remind him that he's supposed to tell us what he's hearing? Like, lift up his earmuffs and just say, hey, can you tell us what you got? Okay. So we've been under, we'll just say about a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes at this point. Henry, thanks for the image. I'm not sure what's going on in there until I take a look at it, but we need to verify that you're here. Tell us about your occupation. What'd you do for a living?
Great track record.
Henry, do you need me to show a little appreciation?
We're all leaving.
I'm still seeing the face. It's almost like he's
Trying to go home.
Usually the word home for Henry means he wants us to leave. We're not leaving, Henry. That face hasn't left yet?
no.
That's weird that it's staying up there for that long period of time.
Being lonely, friends.
And we did get the word careful on CJ's device, just so you guys know.
Okay, now it looks like somebody's doing this. Like,
You haven't seen the galaxy yet at all?
I mean, I see the galaxy, but
Okay.
this is just kind of what looks like it's popping up now.
077.
7-7 is actually relevant. It's Dr. Ladd's birthday. You guys remember I told you Dr. Ladd may show up at her last location? At first she said the other guy. Now he says 077.
Let's try a little bit harder.
What did she just say?
I do.
It looks like there's a bunch of people.
Love her descriptions. It's out here.
Can't help it.
Henry, who else came here with you today? If you're not Henry Tim,
Probably.
can you tell us your first name, please?
Oh, that one's a scary lady.
You're getting all kinds of things. What's a scary lady look like? You talking fangs and vampire stuff? Or
Really old,
1887.
and wrinkly with white hair.
1887. That's weird.
Picks you up, let you down.
Timrod died in 1869, if I'm not mistaken.
It's just faces.
It's just weird that you're getting Henry, we don't understand what these images are and why the box is reacting that way. Normally it kind of, you'll get an image and it'll dissipate, you'll see the galaxy for a minute or two, you'll get another image. And it'll just pulse back and forth like that. Feels like she's getting a bunch of images back. Henry, back to you, sir. Did Dr. Ladd come here with you? That's a yes/no question.
Looks like there's a building on fire.
I can't wait to see these images if she's getting that many. That's like 5 she's described already. We get an average of 4. Henry, what's going on with that box over there?
Tell me how you convey.
Henry, we need more things to verify that you're here. None of the images make sense to me.
There you go.
Tell me about what you did for work. What are you known for?
That is like a cow. It looks like a devil cow.
Devil cow.
I am not.
Are you sure she's not a bull with horns?
That's just
Never India gods.
Any of the gods. That's what he just said. That's weird.
now I'm on a street with buildings, it looks like. And it's on, and they're on fire
Henry,
all around.
what's going on with the images, Henry? Wow, they're like super silent. This is creeping me out a little bit. What's the words?
Supermarket president.
Nothing violent.
No, but you know where you're at? You're at Washington Park. That's George over there. We get things relevant to George, even just his first name. We'll get GW.
We also got unlike. Might have to be careful with unlike.
Henry, none of this makes sense, sir. Wow. Like, Helen's in a trance.
Yeah,
Let's
Doesn't
do-
qualify.
Henry Timrod, you need to tell us what you're known for. Henry, what's the sound out of the church we're getting right now? What are we getting? What's the sound? You can show us a picture of it. You can tell us through one of the folks listening to you, or we're using two other devices that you're familiar with too. The two boxes over here with the lights on them. Mark, any readings at all?
Nothing.
What was the sound that came out of the church? Still looking
Bad.
for verification that you're here.
Good candidate.
That's a presidential thing.
Yes.
She said Clinton earlier.
Yeah.
Henry, we're running out of time. We're down to about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. You guys can see
Best pictures in the world.
best pictures in the world. Maybe that's what we're on to see over there. Things on fire, goofy faces, and a scary cow.
Virtual.
Virtual. Henry?
Reparations.
Who are you?
You know damn well who I am. I'm here every night. I don't normally have to get nasty with you.
Waking up tomorrow.
I better be waking up tomorrow.
Right.
Another version.
Henry? If you'd like us to leave, can you give us the code word? Dr. Ladd, you can give us your code word just to let us know your presence. By the way, Dr. Ladd's code word is the word purple. So if the word purple comes out of here, it kind of gives me a verification that the doc is here.
People you like.
People you like.
Because of two countries.
The Bible.
Oh, that's it. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up if you're not going to give us anything. You need to tell us what you did for a living. Just a little verification that you're here. We don't need to have a full-blown
Now you start pitching.
conversation like we've had in the past. Just a little verification. Show these folks you're here.
Fevers, chills.
Have that
Daughter.
when you were sick. Henry, last chance.
Sky above.
Give me the answer to what you heard from the church or your occupation.
Find them.
Find them. Timrod going once. Going twice. Alright, family members, let's tap them out. Rhonda, go ahead and pull off your face. I am dying to see your scroll of pictures that
I mean,
you
it
have going
could be
on.
mine.